Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Know by Ear. Today I wanted to explore the idea with you of stuff being featured in content, but not for the purpose of being sold. So this idea initially cropped up after going bowling and seeing a bunch of music videos. And now I haven't watched a bunch of music videos in a row like that since the days of MTV, when you would just have it on in the background and see them all in a row. Or, these days if I watch a music video, it'll just be one individual one when I'm interested in an artist's new song or something like that. So when I saw them all back to back in the bowling alley like that, it got me thinking. Here are examples of short form content full of products, full of outfits, full of makeup looks, full of set design, full of incidental items, right? But the feeling you leave with after watching them is not that you want to buy that stuff. You leave with the feeling of the vibe of the music or the message behind the designs and the words and all that, the storytelling. And I think the same can be applied to, longer movies and TV shows. There's a lot of stuff featured. There's a lot of products. You see everything that might be in the character's life, but you don't leave with the feeling of wanting to buy it. At least for me, 99.9% of the time, I don't watch any of that media and want to buy anything that I've seen. So comparing this to being on video form social media and the contrast you see, a lot of times video media will have outright sponsored ads in them. And I talked about this in an earlier video where it's kind of like the main character of your movie or show is breaking character and bringing in an ad script to tell you about this product and pitch it to you when an influencer does that, because they are the main character of their own content, right? And unless you're clicking on a video because you know you're going to be shown the Amazon must-haves, their character was not originally scripted to be a salesperson. Right? They are scripted to share ideas or other content with you, and they take a break from being in this script to give this other script. So imagine if that did happen. Certainly it would be strange to happen in a movie, right? If you're in the movie theater on the big screen and suddenly Brad Pitt or whatever turns and says, "Now we've got a sponsored segment from Athletic Greens. I got my body in shape for this movie by drinking this drink every day. And now let me go back to playing the superhero," or whatever. References, not precise, but that would be weird. That would be unacceptable. And then, okay, we pay to watch movies and like that. But the point I'm making is that the production value of the content aside, we tolerate it in social media content that we watch for free, that we think is a free market, that enables anybody to create something and have it be watched. But in return for that, we have a bunch of ads on the platform itself, and then ads in the content from the content creator. And in that scenario where Brad Pitt might be pitching a product in the middle of a movie, I might be more likely to want it because he's directly speaking to me at that point, and I've already developed some kind of parasocial relationship with him as a character. Now, even though it would be intolerable to have ads like that in the first place, if that were to happen, the influence level, the type of influence, the direct appeal, I think, is what makes people want the product. He can act in the movie and be drinking the green drink, but I'm not going to want that specific one until he turns around and tells me what it is and tells me that I can buy it and be like him in a way. Yes, there is random product placement like that, like you might see him with the greens drink, and it might even have a name on it in the movie. But ultimately, the feeling you're left with is not to buy the products featured. It's the feeling of the movie, the storytelling, the narrative, maybe the lessons, the morals, and hero defeating these bad guys or whatever, and what it took to do that. But there's no direct appeal from one of the characters that you might have a parasocial relationship with, fictional, real, or celebrities. I think the relationship applies in any of these categories. And there have been times that, I've read a book with a specific brand of tea mentioned that's favored by a character and wanted to try it. But it's not quite the same even then when a character is kind of saying that they like it in the written words, a fictional character. It might be stronger than just seeing it in a movie, but I think it's still not as strong as the influencer directly appealing to you and saying, "Hey, you might want to try this. I love to use this. It does this for me in my life." Additionally, the influencer, I suppose, is not a movie character, and that is another aspect of relatability that makes you think, I'm a little closer to this person, and therefore this product may make more sense. Does this also suggest that general YouTube videos are not artistic or have high enough production value to be ruined with ad sponsorships? If an ad sponsorship doesn't come across as intolerable, does that mean the content is not worth watching? So let me backtrack. I definitely don't think it makes it not worth watching, but I think there might be something to that, right? If the creator is sharing ideas that are earnest enough that you think, if I suddenly went down to my kitchen and started pitching a greens powder, would you feel like my ideas were devalued? Oh, I'm able to have all these ideas because my brain is kept clear by drinking this beverage. Would that work? Or would that ruin what I'm trying to do here? I think at the very least it would be super annoying. Finally, I do believe the concept of styling is important in this as well. So what I've noticed on general YouTube, general social media, is that people tend to either have a more basic neutral style or trendy style, like current of the times, and or they tend to try new things and evolve and kind of take pieces from here and there constantly. So they don't have the strong signature style that doesn't really change. And in a movie, music video, TV show, the characters tend to show that kind of strong personal style that never changes because that's part of their character. It's almost like the stereotyping you associate with certain articles of clothing or makeup looks or products helps define the character. And in real life, I think some people do have that sense of personal style that's very strong and identifiable. Many people don't, but I think when content creators don't have that for themselves, even if they're style creators and you think they maybe should have a signature style because they profess to have one, I think a lot of times they either don't or they constantly try and show new things and take a nod from the trends at least so that they can continue to show something that a viewer might want. Whereas if you just stick to your own style and your strong sense of style identity, it's easy for a viewer to say, that's not my style, I can appreciate it, but you're not going to influence me to want what you wear because it's not for me. So the clarity of the style identity and what it projects is amplified in any produced content because it helps with the character identity, development, their presence on screen. Whereas in influencer content, it kind of detracts from that because it decreases the opportunities to show new things or to maybe relate to your viewer who might have a more basic style or more flexible style or more trend-focused style, or they might still be searching for their style. If they don't have a strong sense of style identity, they're much more malleable to you showing many more products. They're much more curious and willing to try, especially if they're unhappy with their current style identity. But even somebody unhappy with their style identity is not going to watch a movie and want to try things that 5 of the characters are wearing. At best, they might be intrigued by one character's outfits if they kind of feel a connection with that character, if they think they have a similar personality perhaps. But I just think it's not quite the same as when it's an influencer who's broadcasting from their own home as a normal person, not a character. I'm planning to do a dedicated video on the concept of style and fashion influencers in a bit as well after I've thrashed out these ideas a little bit more, so I'm probably going to build on this even further in the near future. I would love to hear your thoughts as well in the comments. I'm sure it will inform what I say next on this topic. So let me know if you feel the same about the presence of stuff in media that you consume and the messages that you get from the different material. Whether or not in influencer content, the presence of stuff and ads and, product placement even in influencer stuff, influencer video is a little bit different than it is in a movie. So anyway, I'd love to hear all of your observations below in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. I do feel like I missed a lot of nuances in this one, but when stuff is in service of a greater message or story, I don't think you want to buy it as much for whatever reason. That's my bottom line.